My dad loves cameras, loves telescopes. Yesterday, I'm sure he brought out his fancy telescope to watch the eclipse.
That was incredible.
Yeah, it was. Hi, I'm Jacqueline Derby. I am here on a possession of heroin charge and a violation of probation. I first started using heroin when I was probably about 19, just about to turn 20. I had just had both my kids. And a lot of it was to just kind of see what the big deal was, because my husband had a pill addiction, and his pill addiction led to using heroin. With that being said, it took a lot of time away from family and our marriage, and I wanted to see why he had chose that as his first love instead of his children, his wife, his other immediate family, mother, father, and I learned very quickly why. I know it's not appropriate, but the high was just something that is unmatchable. You can't, it's indescribable. And it really does take a hold of you. I've been using heroin ever since then. The first time I ever got dope sick, I didn't even know that I was dope sick. My husband had told me that we needed to go for a ride, so we took about a 15-minute ride and stopped out in front of this house, which was an old rundown, beat-down, just looking place. 10 minutes later, he comes out and had a bag of heroin for me and told me to sniff it, and I would feel a lot better about 10-15 minutes later. And he was very right. But it wasn't hard to get at all. You can find it just about anywhere. Even in nice parts of towns. Places that you think that heroin wouldn't be, it's there. Oh, I most definitely became addicted. My body 100% just depended on it. Every bit of me depended on it. I could not be myself anymore. I couldn't be a mother to my kids anymore. Like, heroin took every bit of me, but you can't be you without it once you start it. If you want the giddiness of you, the being able to laugh with family, just being able to get up out of bed, you have to have the heroin. There's no way of getting around it unless you detox. I lost everything due to heroin, and I actually got told that I was going to be able to have a visit with my kids. Unfortunately, it'll be supervised, but it's a visit that I haven't had with my kids in almost 2 years, so I'm looking forward to being able to have that visit, but I have to prove that I'm showing it that I care. Yes, it's the first visit and it's the first time I'm seeing my kids in 2 years, so definitely.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bemis and got arrested on April 5th, actually across the street from here at Rocky Brook by Drug Task Force. I started using heroin at 20. I didn't really use consistently until a couple years ago. It's highly addictive. I was using 40 grams a day, and I had to use or I'd be sick. Eventually, you don't get high off of it anymore. It's just you have to use or you're going to be sick. I have 2 kids. My daughter is 7 today. My son is 8. I actually get contact visits with them every Tuesday. Actually the only one that gets contact visits in the women's unit. It's very hard. I've never been away from my kids. So I look forward to the visits, but it makes it harder as well every time they leave, because it's not just emotional, it's like physically, I physically break every time they leave. So I want my kids and they're my life, and I started using a lot when they were ripped out of my life. So like when you take someone's whole world, you can either go one of two ways. You can make it better or you can make it worse. But when you get your whole world ripped away from you, what do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna get worse. So of course I got worse, with the highest of intentions not to. So the day that I had to hand them over and put them in the back of the car, they were screaming. And I broke down, and it's the worst feeling you will ever feel. Worst feeling you will ever feel. And yeah, I can't really talk about it without getting upset, so.
When my kids got taken from me, as Rachel said, you can either make it better or make it worse, and it devastated me. I mean, without my kids, I'm not me. My kids changed my whole life for the better, and unfortunately I made some choices that got us to where I am right now, but my kids were my everything. My daughter was my best friend. My son was the best man I've ever met in my life, the sweetest boy. You never really know what love is until you've got kids. And I don't know, without them I couldn't function, so I turned to the worst thing possible, and that was self-meditating. Or medicating, I said meditating. So, yeah, I don't know where else I'm going with this, but
Good enough.
you can't function without your children, so you can either make it better or make it worse, and most of us that are already got problems make it worse by turning to drugs.
I didn't identify as an addict. I knew I was an addict, but I didn't identify as one for a long time, because all the addicts I knew have lost something, whether it was a job, their kids, something, and I never lost anything. I had 3 jobs, and I raised my 2 kids by myself for the most part, until I got arrested April 5th, and then I lost everything. So it was like, wow, that's how it happens.